biggest issue this election cycle is that we're starting to hear the word socialism a lot in America. And it is something that I don't think people quite understand what it is. It's killed 100 million people in the last 100 years. If you look at countries like Venezuela, former USSR, and we have people that are making it sound good, which is how these countries tend to vote socialism into their countries before it completely destroys everything the country has. And I would say the second biggest thing for me is that I'm getting tired of the Democrat Party drumming up the same issues every 4 years, taking advantage of the black vote and doing absolutely nothing to fix our communities and expecting us to vote for them again.
When we talk about what's our important issues, a lot of times a lot of us try to cover broad ground. So I'm supporting Senator Sanders. If you want to know my broad ground answers, it's within his campaign. But from a very acute and very where we are standpoints, African Americans have to be bigger part of the economic landscape of this country. We should be owners and not buyers. We should be a merchant class and not only consumers. We should have and we should use our political leverage power to leverage and broker government contracts on the behalf of us so that we have 15 Atlantas and not one Atlanta. You should be hunting, fishing, shooting, training, and focusing on self-reliance and not simply relying on the people you say to hate to take care of you.
I think that homegrown terrorism and crazy white boys with AR-15 shooting up innocent people. I also think mass incarceration, the privatized prison industry, the militarization of the police and how they interact with the people in our communities, and police brutality. I think all of those things, although they seem separate, I think they coincide.
How is the best way to...
So wait, just to go over what T.I. said. I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand how the music, you said the white boys AR-15s, what do you think happening in Chicago, New York City, Baltimore, Atlanta now? Rap music plays a lot of the influence, especially now, the youths that's coming up now. The violence is on another level compared to the early 2000s. It's gotten worse. So you can't say the white boy with the AR-15 shooting up schools. Look what happens in Chicago. That's a regular day. You'd be lucky not to be walking on the street and get hit with a stray bullet. So which is worse? See, that's why I don't agree with what he just said. You guys let me know if you agree with what he just said.
To engage a two-party system.
I'm on the black side of the aisle.
Well,
we represent two different candidates.
Talk to me about it.
But I'm on the black side of the aisle. I'm on the side wherever the good potato salad is. You know, so I'm gonna let my sister speak first, but I want everyone to know my political interests start and end with how I grew up in Atlanta. So it's just a little foolish for us to say that we don't inspire children by saying someone died for your right, because the people who oppose you glorify their heroes. I am a proud American. Let me say that first. I have no problem saying that because I'm provided an opportunity in this country that I travel around the world other black men and women don't have. Now, it is my responsibility to take that opportunity and create more opportunities by way of economy, by way of having a platform to speak on the behalf of, and by way of making sure my constitutional rights and privileges are honored, which is why you hear me, who stands a lot of times with people on the left, say, I don't niggas talking about, I'm not giving up my gun for nobody, because the Second Amendment promises me that. I speak and say what I like because the First Amendment promises me. So young people, the old people now who you disagree with once were young. And because they did things like took bullets, took beatings, took bashes to the brain, you have that opportunity. So abso-goddamn-lutely, there's a blood oath that's been made. There's been a blood oath made in every American. When we learned about the American Revolution in Collier Heights Elementary in an all-black neighborhood, we did not learn about a white country that simply used us as slaves. We learned that the first person to die on the behalf of this country was a black man named Crispus Attucks. That gives a sense of pride to a black boy. Well, what happens to that black boy then? That little grows up and goes to Frederick Douglass High School. Frederick Douglass is the most photographed person of the 19th century, a person who worked with both Democrats and Republicans, who helped free not only black people, but women. He said in 1865, women and black people deserve the right to vote. But I wouldn't know that had I not been educated by a syllabus that was given from Clark University and Dr. Asa Hilliard. I am am, what you see when you see me and you see Tip Harris is the product of black excellence. We didn't wake up and a nigga started using big words and we sing and dance and all of a sudden we got it figured out. This is a process.
Negotiation tactics.
Like what Killer Mike said, it is a process. That's why I said in my previous video, if you've been following me for the past couple months, I've been saying the youths now, they have so much access for educational, for history, to learn. Back then, we had to go to the library. We had to ride our bicycles, or we had to get a ride or take the bus. It's right here in the palm of your hand. So if you feel some type of way about something before you jump on the bandwagon with everybody else, just look up on the phone. Look for yourself. Don't go by what he said, she said, or you want to go by what everybody is. You want to be the go along to get along. You don't have to do that. It's right here. I click up a finger away. We didn't have that back then. So a lot of stuff we didn't have access to. But we still knew how to differentiate different things growing up. Now they have access to everything, and it's like they don't even have the access. It's like useless for them. So it's just like taking pictures for Instagram and on the internet. You guys on social media, they don't even use the internet for knowledge. They don't.
So that we're not acquiescing to somebody else's agenda, but being clear about ours in the process of giving them our support?
Well, I would say the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is. And I think that the most important thing for people in this room to understand is that there is a very small window. Right now, the black vote is the most important vote in the country. There's a very small window before our vote's not going to matter. These conferences won't matter, and us sitting here won't matter. Because illegal immigration, if you're looking at the numbers, every new birth in this country, 60% of all new births are Hispanic Americans, and the Democrats are about. Listen. You're saying, let me get to the point. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. They are. I say illegal is the new black because it's true, and there's a reason why they're advocating for open borders. Right now, our vote means a lot, but new births of black Americans have stagnated. The population growth within black America has stagnated. So the things that I pay attention to are the numbers. I pay attention to the birth rates in this country, which is why I'm pro putting something down to stop illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, and you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing black America. 75% of black boys in California can't pass a reading exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools. They couldn't find a single black boy that was a single black child that could pass a basic reading or a math exam. So I caught a lot of slack because I said this is a Democrat plantation, but I meant what I said. If you look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves, there were 3 things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we would have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our educations, that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities and all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool for me. We need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component, and this is the biggest issue that I think is facing black America today, which was important to maintaining the plantations, was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you remove...
Y'all, hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. Hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage, but I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invite her.
She got to finish.
So let her say what she needs to say, and then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in black America, and they thought that...
Now, hold on. I want to finish this. Now, this is on your behalf. At a certain point, we can't be assholes. At a certain point, these are black men and women, and in particular, these are black women. Like on some real G shit. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. everything she has just said, Louis
Facts.
Farrakhan said for the last 25
Haram!
years. So with no.
Thank you, Killer. Thank you, Killer Mike, for stepping up. That's what I'm saying. In the black community, we only go off of emotions and feelings. We don't listen to the facts of what the individual is telling us. We create to go off of feelings and emotions and respond so negative. Everything she does says is not a lie. You just don't want to accept the truth because the truth hurts. You know the saying, facts over feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings and how you feel about what she just said. It's facts.
And I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Tamika are. Bam. but you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bruh. Shut
Haram.
up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
Simple.
I apologize. I digress.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much for
Listen.
saying what
I want you
to
to continue because I was listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been turned into public enemy number one. I say the same thing when I hit every stage. The single motherhood rate in the black community in the 1960s, before Lyndon Baines Johnson started the Great Society Act, was 23%. At that time, that was considered very high. 23% of black people growing up without a father in the home.
I think like 65 now?
The single motherhood rate in the black community today is 74%.
I was close, yeah, I was close.
74% of our children are growing up without a father in the home. It was Barack Obama, who I don't even really, have anything for, who told you what happens when you remove a father from the home. You're 9 times more likely to end up in prison. You're 6 times more likely to drop out of high school, and you're 12 times more likely to lead a life of poverty. Why is nobody talking about father absence, and why do we keep being silenced when we actually do? This is what black conservatism is, by the way. It's really not. It's not that controversial.
I had a question for both of you young ladies, and you and Candace, we've spoke many times, and you're a brilliant young lady. But my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? I mean, that you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter, or any of your brothers or any of your family members, if they are caught out there by a policeman who is in a covert, undercover white supremacist and get gunned down, this constituency will have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Please let me answer this question. Please let me answer this question.
And we can't, and although what you're saying is a lot of the things that you're saying are absolutely factual, a lot of the things that you're saying have merit, but I can't even get to that before I address the disregard for young black lives.
I love it.
You will not speak up on it at all.
Love this question. I will address
all of the
it.
things that you spoke on, from opportunity zones.
I love that we're talking about white supremacy.
Okay,
I'll answer the question.
I say, excuse me. I didn't interrupt you. If I may.
The white supremacy thing.
Now we back with the white supremacy. Yeah, I'm in my mid to late 30s, right? I have never encountered a white supremacist. Never. I work amongst a lot of white people. Been around a lot of white neighborhoods, never encountered one. I mean, I encountered racism where people, they give you that look, but they don't say nothing to you. They just give you that look. That's about it. I had friends, right, that was shot, robbed, stabbed by another Black American. Not white, not white. So T.I., that don't have merit. That's you going into conspiracy. What if the cop was a white supremacist? He was undercover. And T.I., it's like a 90% ratio to a 10% ratio. That the 90% is that you will most likely get robbed and shot by a black man than encountering a white supremacist. Tell me in the comments.
Your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
He hasn't.
Somebody please go to his Twitter feed right now. Right now,
He
go
said,
back to
"Who
the
is the
shootings."
KKK?
He said, no, because we got to tell the truth.
He
I do
said,
not
"Who
stop.
is the
Don't
KKK?"
now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that.
So listen.
What he said was that there was good.
No.
on both
Let me
sides
finish.
of white
Stop.
supremacy. That's
Because
what
you
he
guys
said.
are so
That's
hung
not what he
up
said.
on
That's not what
Charlottesville,
he said.
and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment, because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech, like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said, and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional, and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something north, somebody counted up 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened. He said, America is no place for white nationalism and white supremacy, and it's an issue that has to be tackled. I'm paraphrasing, you can go find it.
Although
so I
he calls himself a nationalist. He calls himself a nationalist.
Stop. You can fact check.
With all these KKKs around, why are the black community still shooting each other? Why there's so much violence still? Why don't you go out there and look for them KKKs? See, this myth. If we were talking about in the 18th or the 90s, then maybe. But now we commit the most crime to one another than any other group or race. There's so much KKKs. Where are they?
I'm either lying to your face, you can go on Twitter right now. You can do it live.
So which one do you want us to believe? The first thing he says or what he says after the media comes after him?
No, I'm talking about
because the first thing he said was that there was...
you're asking a different question than T.I. did. T.I. said, how can you work with an administration that has never denounced white supremacy? You're talking about Charlottesville?
I'm talking about talking points that come out later. But what he starts with is racism. That's what comes out his mouth when he starts.
See?
We
and let me tell you something.
How many mass shootings by white supremacists.
And let me tell you why the black vote is the easiest vote for Democrats to keep for the last 60 years. All they have to do to get our vote, let me tell you something. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest person to control. The Democrats have figured out that Black America is emotionally responsive to the word racism. She says racism, you jump up and you start cheering. You haven't even listened to what I've said to rebut it, okay?
Cheer. But it's the...
100%, the biggest issue, let me finish. The biggest issue facing Black America is not white supremacy. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, he was talking about the fact that some people that were in the Charlottesville rally, and he could have paraphrased that better, he could have said something better, literally came there because they don't believe that statues should be torn down, okay? Other people came there because they were upset that amongst the people that came there to watch the statue be torn down were also white nationalists. So what he meant was there were some people that were just there using their First Amendment right. There were some people that were there to respond to the white nationalists, and a big mess happened. I'm not trying to defend him or relitigate a situation. I'm saying that being hung up on that is allowing you to not look at an administration that is tackling so many issues in Black America right now. I do not consider myself a Republican. I definitely am not a Democrat, but Trump woke me up. I used to be liberal. Trump woke me up to the idea that we're being manipulated by the word racism every 4 years.
So wait. They call
everybody racist.
All right. We're gonna get into this because what I'm concerned about is how is that any different than the fear that Trump has created in poor whites? The fear that Trump has lifted in poor whites, that black people and poor urban people are their problem.
Right.
When did Trump ever say that? That's a fallacy. When did Trump ever say black people are the problem?
Make America great again. That's when he said it.
Guys,
but I'm not on the panel, so I want to make sure.
That was Ronald Reagan's slogan. Was that racist when Ronald Reagan had it as a slogan?
Yes, what time?
It was.
Yes, let me ask you.
So that
please answer this. Please answer this. I have a question.
Wait.
Please just allow me just one outburst. Please. I have a question.
You can see Killer Mike's face. Killer Mike is getting aggravated. I don't blame him. I couldn't be on that panel. I'm just listening to the stupidity. It's like we can't be this stupid. We talk about them. You got a rap. You got rapper. Right? Even Killer Mike was a rapper. I'm not sure if he's still rapping now. But T.I. talk about the most brutal stuff they do to one another. How come they never rap about doing that to a KKK? You guys ever think about that? All these rappers, all the songs T.I. had with shooting his ops and doing all this type of drugs, all type of guns that he had, was towards another black brother. How come he didn't say that about a KKK member? Find me one T.I. song that he has about putting the KKK as his ops. Find it.
When you say make America great again, Which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like it?
But before Candace, you said the crack era. T.I., all your songs and all you rappers talk about selling crack to your own people, in your own community. If you felt some type of way about the KKKs and racism, you won't be talking about glorifying selling drugs and destroying your own community. You see what they see, the hypocrisy? I couldn't be on that panel, guys. I couldn't.
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said "Make Black America Great Again" because Black America.
Make America.
Before,
We're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was. No, I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying oh?
Hey man.
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Smart. I want to like you so much.
I can't answer the
I want to
question.
hear y'all. I want to be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear them.
If I can't answer the question and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact, why are you booing a fact?
It's a fact.
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points.
enslavement
I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing
I
you
haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of anything?
started with some bullshit.
Well, she didn't finish. Yeah.
So, Candace. Candace, hold on, wait.
We can be emotional.
Candace,
we can
wait,
boo.
no,
You
no,
can
no,
share.
I
But
said
I'm telling
that.
you right now, the black
Candace,
vote is
hold
not
on.
going to matter
So, Mike-
after the next about 5 years if you don't start
Katrina,
paying attention to what I'm saying to you.
Katrina,
Because I'm trying to tell you guys the truth.
Candace,
The absolute
we
truth
got
about
you.
what is happening in Black America. You are being used, abused, and lied to and manipulated emotionally by the Democrat Party. That is what I am here to tell you. You want to keep
Candace,
uprising and talking about racism when they're taking our fathers out of the home, when they're
You
making
said
welfare.
that already.
No.
We got you.
Because
So
we're
hold
seeing it
on,
happen
man.
right
Hold on
here.
one second.
Right here. I'm
Hold on one
telling you it, and you're
got
being
you.
responsive because I can't finish a sentence
So,
about what I was
Katrina,
going to say about
Katrina,
slavery.
Disagree.
Katrina.
Everyone in
Because
totality
you started with some
disagrees.
bullshit. Oh, and
You
that's
did.
culture, man. That's not intellectual. That's culture.
I need you.
T.I., you went off for emotions. You didn't come back with some facts. Where's the facts? Everything that Candace said, she came with facts behind it. T.I., you just went off emotion. You just say, oh, it's BS. Where's your facts? She just gonna come up with some myth without facts behind it? This is exactly. You see what's going on with his son, right? T.I.'s son. You see what's going on with him, right? He wants to have this gangster image, starting fights, but they talk about KKKs. Where's the KKKs? They use it as an excuse. T.I., you're rich. You're more rich than a lot of white people. So where's all the KKKs at? Oh, you're rich off of your own people, pain and suffering. Okay.
To come in. I need you to come in.
What y'all are seeing right now are free people arguing over who got the best master. Oh yeah.
Get him.
So we're gonna go back to silent. Let's register this shit back down. We're gonna lock this back down. So I'll tell you when America was great. 7 years after the ending of the Civil War.
Exactly what
Hold, Candace, because you didn't give the comment, so you weren't prepared for that one. No, but that's not to jump on Candace, because again, I'm disagreeing with my friend. 7 years after the end of Civil War, blacks within 7 to 15 years accumulated over 15 million acres of land. Hold on, before we get to clapping, because the niggas bought some shit. Black people were the only skilled labor in there. So if it was welding to be done, iron bending, cotton picking, it was black people. So instantly, your value became more. And Candace has a point. The point that she made about illegal immigration affecting you is that it's going to affect you at some point. Why?
Yes.
If the Kegel Chicken Factory is hiring illegal immigrants at an undercut on the rate, it affects the black people who live there who should be demanding $20 an hour because they're being undercut. So when they get wiped out, they have to hire blacks, pay them, and unionize. So she's right on that. But hold the fuck on, I'm not finished. You have to remember that people who look like you immigrate too. So before you widely say, fuck them all, remember, America is always going to have a slave class. And if illegal immigrants or legal immigrants will not be the lowest paid workers, those in prison will be, and that always ends up looking like one of their sons. So it circles back around.
Yes.
So that's why people who are black, who are from 2 different plantations, got to get the fuck away from massa long enough to say, how are we going to burn down both their fucking houses? Now, this is my thought. This is my thought. I don't care if you destroy the Republican or Democratic Party, because at one time, blacks were Republicans. And you dominated those 7 years after the Civil War. You were Republicans. You had more blacks in the House and Senate than you do now. And you dominated your own economic and communities. You did that as Republicans. As Democrats, you did the same in cities like Atlanta. You failed in other cities. But the most important thing is self-organizing. By the time we get to a candidate, we should have a list that says white man, white woman, these are our demands. You can meet them and get our vote, or not, and we're going to stay home and crochet and make collard greens. But what you cannot do is continue to argue over who is the best master. I don't give a fuck if it's Trump, Obama, your mama, my mama. What the fuck do you have for me in my community? Now, if you do not, and if you stop playing, oh, I'm going to say the snazziest shit to each other on stage, I'm going to show that motherfucker, this is going to be a quotable, and we close up the doors, and we simply say, how do we take the good of what you have, the good of what you have, the good of what you have and you have, how do we shape it into a 10-point agenda?
Killer Mike couldn't have said it any better, guys. Give me guys think about this. It got a little heated. T.I., you didn't came with no facts. You put a hurting on your own community. You talked about the guns, the violence, the drugs. You got rich off of your people's pain and suffering. Where was the KKK to stop you from getting rich, since they're so big out here? Where? Give me guys think about this. Pretty much everything I need to say throughout the video. I will be in the comments, reading y'all comments and responding. Until then, I'll see you guys next video. Peace out. You guys have a blessed day.